So with all the, social change that's happening in America, and, you had a lot of the George Floyd protests, a lot of things are changing. We're seeing a lot of statues coming down of Confederates. We're seeing names coming off of schools and different buildings, etc. And then this has visited the NFL. Now, the NFL, we knew the team, the Washington Redskins, was one of the teams that people had an issue with for years, especially Native Americans. A lot of Native Americans felt this was very, racist toward them, mocking them, and rightfully so. I mean, you literally talking about someone's skin and using it as your mascot. And they've been fighting this for years, but the owner has said, no, I'm not changing the name. I'm not changing it. But as I told you before, when people put the pressure on people with money, and the people like FedEx, which is a big sponsor of their stadium, saying that if you don't change the name of this team, we're going to pull out our $200 million. They get people start to think a little different and want to make some changes. So they announced, we're going to change the name of the team, Washington Redskins. Everybody say, okay, that's good. Finally, they're going to do that. Many people gave ideas, like the Washington Red Hawks, Washington Warriors. One person had even gave the name Washington Red Tails, after the Tuskegee Airmen and their flights and everything like that. People thought that would be real cool to be called the Washington Red Tails. But they didn't go with any of those names, which I would have been okay with some of those names, right? This is the grand name they went with, y'all. You ready for the name? The new name of the team that was formerly known as the Washington Redskins, the team now is called Washington Football Team. That's the name. No, I'm not joking. Washington Football Team. They got the new logo and everything. Okay. Now, of course, when people said, okay, this is the name you come up with, like what genius did you pay money to come up with that? I mean, you paid money to somebody in marketing, somebody in creative development to come up with Washington Football Team. Seriously? Now, of course, when people heard that's the name they went with, people was clowning them. LeBron James was clowning, saying this all y'all come up with. Everybody in the NFL was clowning. I mean, come on, man. So what we going to do? We're going to call it the Houston baseball team, the Houston football team, and what different names will come with here in Houston now? The Houston soccer team. That's what we doing now. I mean, 2020 has been a crazy year, y'all. I mean, never in my life would I would think somebody with supposed access to all this money to hire the best and brightest people, allegedly, and they come up with Washington Football Team. Corona got people losing their mind. I don't know if it's coronavirus. I don't know what it is, but Washington Football Team is not going to be the name. Listen, I think they're going to change this after all this backlash. I know good and well FedEx them probably say, I know y'all didn't call this team Washington Football Team. Are y'all trolling? Because it seemed like this is a trolling thing they're doing. Like, I didn't want to change the team name anyway. So you know what? F it. Washington Football Team. That's what it's going to be. Let's see what they think about that. Because that owner did not want to change the team name. He was pissed off about it. He was stomping mad about it. So to me, this seems like the owner is being petty. That's why he said, yep, Washington Football Team, that's the name. I don't care. Boy, man, these people are crazy. Now, a lot of people in the NFL, they're catching COVID and all these things that's going on with that right now. We don't even know if it's going to be a football season. Me personally, I don't think them guys should be playing football because football is a, contact sport and you in people's face, and how you going to be wearing a freaking mask? You can't really do that playing football. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to have guys falling out with that mask on. But, we'll see how that goes because a lot of guys have tested positive for the coronavirus. I prefer them not to play this year. I prefer them to play next year. I think it'll be better. I think a lot of things should just hold off to 2021 beyond what to travel. I mean, traveling overseas, just different things that if you don't have to travel, just kind of chill and or whatever, right? But Washington Football Team just not it, bro. I mean, come on. I mean, that is a dumb move. It seemed petty, but it's a very dumb move. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Those of you who are watching that's in Washington State, I mean, are you rocking with the new team name, or you feel like I feel like that's just a silly name, and whoever you paid for this name need to be fired?